Good morning, Antonio.
Good morning, Antonio.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, James. How are you?
Excellent, thank you.
All right, so my first question is, tell us a little more about the Turbo, the movie.
Sure. Well, it's a classic, child story of a dreamer who wants to be able to do more. In this case, it's a snail, and his dream is to be, competitive at the Indy 500. And fatefully, he runs into, no pun intended, into a very special Camaro that gives him some additional powers and some skills. And it really then just becomes a great story of this snail who has this new ability, gets his chance to race in the Indy 500, and how he brings along all of his friends and his family to see that a dreamer really can dream, and sometimes dreams come true.
Definitely agree with that. So coming off of the custom Camaro, tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, this particular car is a very specially modified Camaro ZL1, which of course ZL1 is a 580 horsepower version. This particular car is not set up to run as it is. These are not accessories that you can necessarily buy for a Camaro, but we just wanted to really, let the dreamers go. Again, the whole theory of this movie is dreaming the dream that you feel strongly about. Who wouldn't want a Camaro that looks and sounds like this one? But it really is modeled a lot along the lines of the Camaro that our good friend Turbo has his little encounter with during the movie. So this particular show car has been used at a lot of auto events around the country over this last year, and is now part of our racing tour as well. So it's really just helped to promote the Camaro and this new movie.
Yeah, James, if I could just add,
Yes,
the car is running what I'll call the IRL race circuit currently.
Okay.
So from week to week, it shows up at the various races. And it's also important to note this is a highly customized car with a lot of specially fabricated parts. But obviously it's a showstopper, a real eye catcher. The kids love it. People just can't help congregate around the car.
The kids love it. Steve, I love it. I want one, but as you say, it's not something you could basically put together and drive today, but it sure is going to make the Camaro even more popular than it is.
Just based off you telling me that, I would love to get in one as well.
There you go. I thought so, Antonio. I know you well enough to know that this is your kind of stuff.
Antonio, it's a one-of-a-kind car.
I like those kind of cars.
Of course.
So why did GM become involved in this project?
Well, it's interesting, just to give you a little history. The initial conversation actually occurred between our VP of Racing, Jim Campbell, and a conversation he had at a racetrack. And from there, it evolved into, okay, we have an opportunity to get involved in the film. I handle all our branded entertainment activity. And so we started talking to DreamWorks, the studio, about this wonderful story of a dreamer called Turbo. And the really interesting part for us was it's hard to really get a lot of brand placement into the world of animated film when you really are part of the fabric of the story. And because Turbo ultimately dreams of going to the Indy 500 and realizes that dream, it's very authentic for us to be part of it with the Chevrolet brand, because Chevrolet and racing go hand in hand. So the depiction of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the racing scenes when you see the film are absolutely incredible. My hat's off to DreamWorks and their animators. They did a wonderful job. But we're reflected in a true racing environment with the brand. And then the other really critical moment that I absolutely love is how Turbo actually gets his speed, and he gets it through the Camaro, which obviously we've talked about here. So for us, it was a natural fit. It made a lot of sense, and the ability to connect with families on that level is a great marketing opportunity for us.
So what does this kind of involvement indicate from a business angle?
Well, a big part of what we do in branded entertainment is make sure that we have the ability to connect with viewers and consumers in a really organic and natural way. That's really important, that people believe why we're in a film and what our role is in it. So what we're really trying to do from a business perspective is increase opinion consideration for all our GM brands, and in this particular case, Chevrolet. And we have a lot of data and research that shows when you do it the right way and you promote around it, you really can make a big impact. And again, in this animated film, it actually gives us the ability to start building brand awareness with even a younger audience, which I know won't buy cars today, but you're building a brand for the future. And when you look at the history of a brand like Chevrolet, a lot of that started with a child who dreamed of owning a Corvette or a Camaro or an Impala or whatever it may be. And so it's a great opportunity for us to start doing that in a really family-friendly, wonderful way.
I really agree with you on the childhood thing. Like, I have a little cousin who could probably name just about every make and model of any car right now.
Steve and I were like that when we were kids too.
I grew up in an automotive family, so believe me, I fully understand that because I was the same way.
So my last question is, how can our audience win a chance to attend a premiere event?
Okay, so there's a couple things that are going on in some key markets. We are running a set of screening programs. So through local TV and radio affiliations, we're running localized promotions. And then there's also a really fun, what we call social digital-based activity we're doing, which is called Draw Your Dream. And what it does is it gives children, with obviously the support of their parents, I want to make sure that's clearly stated, to submit illustration of what their dream would be. And they can submit that, and then online through a panel of Chevrolet and DreamWorks, what we call experts, will select the top winners, and they will get a chance to see the film and get some turbo merchandise as well. So a couple different ways to engage.
That sounds extremely interesting. I may have to get my cousin to do a little something.
Well, have him visit Chevy.com or go to the Chevy Facebook page, get the details, and look forward to seeing what he comes up with.
All right, great. I'm even more excited to see this film. I don't even, just based off the cars alone. But I want to thank you, Steve, and I want to thank you, James, for taking out the opportunity to answer my question.
It's our pleasure.
Hey,
Thank
great
you.
to talk to you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.